Hello there everyone, welcome to another great video game ideas not used video, GVGINU for short. As always, I'm Andre and it is a pleasure to share my thoughts with you. Now the video I'm doing this moment I've tried to do several times. Sometimes I've been interrupted, other times I didn't really think my thoughts got across very well, so I said scrap the video, I'll do something else for the moment and I'll come back to this. And I've done it at least 10 or 15 times now. Where I've literally tried to get this point across and discuss it in a well-mannered way, because the first time I did it and it went up successfully, my information was incorrect, and it was incorrect in a way I couldn't really just leave it, because leaving something that you know is wrong up and like it's detrimentally wrong was how bad it was. So I literally felt like I needed to take it down and just do a whole different perspective, because I kind of went in raging, kind of went in agitated in that video, and my reasoning was flawed reasoning, so I got rid of the video. Because even if I disapprove of someone's position, I want to at least come from a place that makes sense. So I started this over and over again several times and stopped it several times, and I finally getting back to it. So since the long-winded explanation is over and you can see the title below, you obviously know who this video is about. It is about Anita Sarkeesian and EA and her having input or influence over Mirror's Edge. Now I can't say that I know that she is definitely hand in hand with the developers DICE on the game, but I do know that she had a chance to have a conference with them to talk about things that she thinks will improve the game. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that per se if it weren't for her questionable methods and history as she has become popular, as well as a few things that she has said. Like, there's one thing in particular that she said that I think is complete BS, but I'll get to that in a second. Now, as a gamer, I have enjoyed games forever. I've loved the industry. Well, maybe not the industry itself, but the quality of the games that I have enjoyed. I've loved them for a really long time as just a person that just loves their hobby, something that they think is enjoyable. And I've seen things that have happened. I've predicted things that have happened in this industry, and with accuracy, I might add. Hey, you want to check my YouTube videos listing, you'll see some things I've said that should have happened or that will happen, and they have happened recently or have been talked about recently, though that's a bragging right that I'll put aside for another time. I've watched the industry grow. I'm watching it fall apart currently, and there are just a lot of things that bother me, and one of these things is dealing with Anita's situation with the game Mirror's Edge 2. I find her content to be quite questionable, her feminist frequency. I watched a few episodes of it. I've given 3 episodes of her, I think there's got to be at least like 7 or 8 videos out there that she's done. But I gave her 3 chances, and none of them really worked for me. So it's not like I'm just hating on her just to hate on her. I don't even actually hate her. I dislike her methods, her methodology. And I'm probably one of the few people that will say that, and I might not get any backlash for it, but then again, I probably could. Whatever, I really don't care. I'm being straightforward and honest, and if you don't like that, then that's a personal problem with you. Anyhow, in her videos, she kind of glosses over the issue with female characters in gaming. She doesn't really give information or an insight in any way that hasn't already been done. She's just more or less repeating what has already been established, but highlighting it in a one-sided manner. At least that's what my opinion is. Like, you disagree, I don't care. Like I said, if you dislike my opinion, that is a personal problem with you. But moving on. She's been acclimated and given awards and things. And while I do agree with the intention of what she is doing, I disagree with the method of how she's doing it. And she's been given awards in gaming, which to me that just points that those are superficial awards that you'll just give to anybody who makes a big enough splash in media or draws enough attention to themselves for what apparently is to be a good reason, when there are definitely some not so I'm missing the word, but there are some very detrimental things that are behind that action. I don't think she deserves the awards that she's been given. I don't think that she deserves the media coverage that she's been given. And from what I've seen and the things that I've researched and delved into, she could very well be a fraud. And I'm not saying she is, I'm not saying she isn't, but there is evidence to point to her being a complete fraud. I mean, there's also the video where I don't like the title of the video. It says Anita Sarkeesian isn't a real gamer. I would say she's not a dedicated gamer. I can't say she's a real or fake gamer, but she's not a dedicated gamer. It's not something she really digs her time into. She's like an off and on type person, but the way she's presented herself was to make her seem like she was constantly playing games. She's in the know and in on information and learning things on a constant basis, which she wasn't doing. And to me, that is a very fraudulent stance to come off of. And hey, again, you don't agree, that's your opinion. I don't care. I'm just giving you mine. And looking at it like that, like, why would you feel like you have to present yourself from a position of this massive load of experience when you don't really have it? And if you don't have that, all you have to do is say up front, look, this is something I'm interested in, but I kind of don't really know my way around all of this. She would have garnered so much more support, positive support at that, than the whole 4chan situation. She was garnered a lot of positive attention, a lot of positive support, and people would have been very willing to help her and give her information, as well as give her money to start her video series. And I know this for a fact that if she had done it that way, people probably wouldn't have so much of a problem with her. But positivity also has its limits, and it probably wouldn't have gotten her the money as quickly as she possibly would have wanted it. And you can hear my daughter playing with her toys, so I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to listen to it while I'm talking. Yeah, she's having fun, so I'm not going to mess with her. I find that to be questionable. I find it to be very much the wrong way to do things. That's all I can say. But getting to the main point, she's, like I said, she's talking to DICE, talking to EA about Mirror's Edge 2 and things that she thinks will make the game better. Again, I don't personally have a problem with that, outside of the fact that she hasn't shown, like, she's proven that she's not really trustworthy in the first place. And this is from the position of coming to the gaming community to garner support, but doing it in a falsified manner. One of the things that she did say to them was that she could understand why female gamers really didn't get on with the first Mirror's Edge, because the controls were complicated and difficult. I think it's along those lines. It's not verbatim what she said, but I have one thing to say to that. Bullshit. That statement is bullshit. If you... I gotta watch my mouth. Sorry, that'll be the only time that happens. Trying not to influence my youngest one here. But, that statement is crap. And here's the reason why. There are no gender-specific controllers, no gender-specific control types, no gender-specific video gaming platforms out there. There are none at all in any way, shape, or form. So to say that, basically put it in this light, she's pretty much saying that women cannot play video games and compete or play them at the same level as male gamers. And felt like something was on my neck. Sorry. That is crap to me. That is complete and utter crap to me. And there are a couple reasons why. First reason, I taught my wife and two of my nieces how to play Halo in a very competent manner that they were slaughtering people when we played online together. They were like, I mean, they probably weren't in the highest ranks, but they were up there. They stayed mid-tier throughout most of the games that we played. The only reason I can say that I did better than them is because I have more experience in the game than they do. And that's about it. That's the only reason I did better than them. Because if we had the same level of experience with the game or gaming in general, they probably would have played on par with me. I'm like, me being a gamer, I can strategize in the game a lot quicker than them, and I've done it for a longer period of time. Whereas they haven't, so some of the things that I would immediately think aren't very apparent to them. But that's generally with any new person to gaming. If you're somebody who's been doing it for a long time, you can generally pick up on things a lot quicker than somebody who hasn't. And that's with anyone, regardless of gender. Another thing, give a shout out to Miss K, because I'm pretty sure she's probably listening. If I were to play Battlefield 4 against her, I'm pretty sure she would eradicate me in that game. I have no experience with it. I could probably pick it up and be pretty good at it, but I have no experience with it. She would know better what to do than I would. She would slaughter me if we played. Oh my gosh, this child's knocking stuff over. She would literally slaughter me in that game. She would probably make me frustrated enough that I wouldn't want to play for a while because I would be that badly beaten. And I'm sure of this. There's no question in my mind. I'm pretty sure of this, that Miss K would freaking eradicate me in Battlefield 4. Because I think she has it, I'm pretty sure she does, on her PS4. I think she would smash me in that game. And that goes to her being more experienced with it and being better adapted to it than me. That's all there is to it. I mean, given time, I could probably catch up to her, maybe give her some go, be on par with her, maybe. I don't know if I get better than her, but like I said, she probably put a hit out on me, and it would be taken care of as far as that game is concerned. And that's not. If for me, I'm looking at like that comment. I was like, do you really understand what you're saying? Do you understand that other female gamers out there are probably more competent in gaming than you? It has nothing to do with gender as to why you find the controls to be difficult. You just didn't get got tongue tied. You just didn't get acclimated to the game properly. That more or less is probably the reason. I'm pretty sure I could teach my 7-year-old how to play Mirror's Edge, even though it's not an appropriate game for her to play, but I could probably teach her how to play it, and she could probably do a very competent playthrough on that game. She probably wouldn't make it to the end of the game, but she'd probably progress pretty far through it. Kid's pretty bright. I'll say that. She's pretty intelligent. She picks up on things pretty quickly sometimes. So I don't see it as a gender issue. I see it as more or less she personally couldn't play the game very well, so she assumed that that was the reason that other females that play video games couldn't do very good in it, which is a bad assumption to make. Like, she's literally throwing every female gamer under the bus for a personal reason. So they're looking at simplifying the controls, where this game was supposed to be technical. It's a game where you're running around, jumping off buildings, performing parkour moves. Why does that need to be simplified? Why not learn the game, get acclimated to the controls, and then make a judgment on the game, rather than make a complaint that broadly encompasses a group of people who it probably doesn't suit. One moment for the interruption. My 11-month-old kinda had a run in the spill, so I had to comfort her a bit and calm her down. She's gonna be a gamer too. I can trust me. If you've seen her grab an Xbox 360 controller, you would know she's gonna be a gamer. At 9 months old, this child knew how to hold the controller properly. But I'll move that aside. Sorry, I kind of went into that. Back to what I was saying. Miss Sarkeesian thoroughly encompassed a broad range of people in an issue that doesn't necessarily suit said people. But like I said, because of a personal issue with the game from her own perspective. Another thing is, I look at the situation, and the only reason she's been given this position is because of these awards and accolades that she's been given that I don't think she necessarily deserves, and that is my personal opinion. And I look at it and I'm like this. Maybe a couple months ago, my 7-year-old told me that she wants to be a video game designer. And you would have had to see how my face lit up when she said that to me. I was like so happy just to hear that. It might not necessarily stay the situation, but just hearing that, I can't put into words how happy that made me. But as a person who is a gamer, like I said, I've enjoyed the industry for a long time, basically all my life. To hear one of my kids say, I want to be a game designer, and she got the inspiration from Sonic 2, because I let her play Sonic 2 with my Android tablet a lot, and she likes the game. She pretty much loves it. She wants to design like platformers in similar fashion to Sonic. Probably, I mean, given time, she could probably learn, hey, these are the flaws with this game, and these are the things that can be fixed with it, and to make a better game. But that's beside the point. What Anita's doing by I'm not even going to place the blame fully on her, because it's also in part to a lot of these bullcrap organizations in the gaming industry, and a company like EA, which was voted worst company 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. And they made this decision to have her give input to DICE for Mirror's Edge, and they practically have to use her input, is what it seems. I can't confirm this myself because I'm not there. But that's the speculation of it. With Anita being put in that position where she has some form of control in the design aspect of a game, undermines many of the other female game designers and game developers out there who actually want to develop fun, amazing games for the industry and for people to be able to enjoy. And for me, that also, if my daughter decides to stay this route and actually become a video game designer, that hurts her. And this one's banging on the box behind me. That hurts her because this action, if this game is bad, if this game is horribly bad, like mechanically, or if this game is bad in any facet, then people will not really want to have female game designers working on games or handling any aspect of gaming. And this woman isn't even a designer. She's in no way, shape, or form possibly in a position in her career or life capable of dealing with anything in the design aspect of a video game. She is not. I mean, I know I talk a lot about video game ideas, but these are ideas I've had. I mean, people will say, yeah, they seem like fun ideas. I would enjoy playing that, and I can understand why people would enjoy the things that I think up, because those are my ideas. I can understand that. But giving my prior example of her talking about the controls and female gamers not being able to get with the controls, and then she's allowed to give input in the successor to the first game, that doesn't add up quite right. At least not for me. Okay, stop doing that. Stop. I don't know. Maybe in my mind, if she feels like female gamers can't get on with the game, why not get other opinions from other female gamers that have actually played it before saying, well, hey, you think these controls don't work for female gamers? Let's give you the opportunity to tell our people how to make a game, even though they've been doing it for a long time. Does that make sense? Really? Does that make sense? Would you really want somebody to do that? If I was working for EA Dice, I'd probably quit. I would probably quit, just not because of who she is, but because let's say, hey, well, you have to take her opinions and thoughts and find a way to incorporate them in the game. I would leave. I'd pack up my box, my stuff, and be done and go indie, or go to an indie studio and start helping them work on a game. No way, shape, or form would I be willing to accept that, even with high pay. That's a thing of your own personal character that comes into question when that type of situation is thrown at you. And I would be one to leave. I wouldn't stand for it. I'd be sure, yeah, it might slow production down by an hour, but hey, whatever. I wouldn't be in support of that. I couldn't if I was personally in that position. And that's why I feel like this is detrimental. As if this game is bad, female designers and developers will feel the backlash from this. If it is good, if it is a good game, there's also some negative things that can happen. It would be good because then female ideas for female gamers, not gamers, female designers and developers would probably be listened to more. But this will also lend an ear to, well, lend a hand to Anita's own personal platform in gaming, which she would be able to gloat about and rub in people's faces. And based on what I've seen of her, it's likely she would do it. Maybe not in the sense of ha ha ha, I did this and whatever, but she would I'm pretty sure she would make mention of it in her videos. Of like, well, how I influenced Mirror's Edge 2, or how I gave them the idea to add to these controls or simplify these controls. That would come out. Trust me. I'm pretty damn certain that would come out. Oh gosh, I gotta do it. I'm slipping again. Good thing she's only 11 months. So she'll probably forget. But those are the things I'm looking at. And this would make more people be against her, which would actually support her platform more, because the more people that are against her, the more support she's going to get from people who feel like they're doing the right thing by supporting her. But that's a side note from this whole issue. I have a bad feeling for this game. I want it to be a good game. I desperately want it to be a good game. But part of me is saying, like, I don't expect it to be as good as the first one was. It might be good. It might be a decent game, but I don't expect it to be as good as the first at all. I don't. I want to. I want it to be. I want it to be better than the first, but I don't expect it to be. And that, in and of itself, is a bother. Then there are people who won't buy this game just because they know her name is in some way, shape, or form attached to it. There are plenty of people that won't buy it. All those people that bought the first game probably won't buy it. And it just depends on what happens. And I want this game to be good. I want it to sell well. But I'm worried about the conundrum of crap that could happen afterwards in that future situation. But for me, like I said, the most hurt for me is that this could possibly negatively affect my own child's chances of doing something that they want to do as a career for themselves. I mean, maybe not hurt the chances, because she can always still go to school, but it might hurt her ability to be able to promote herself or to be taken seriously in an industry like this if either of the two extremes that I'm worried about happens. I mean, it's a lot of if and it's a lot of speculation, it's a lot of thought about things that are possibly going to happen. It's not necessarily what is set in stone. We don't know that for now. But I would like for my child and other people's children and the female game designers out there and developers that are out there and the coders that are out there to be able to do the job that they want to do without being ridiculed because of somebody else's actions. I don't see that as fair to those people. I don't see that as fair for anybody. It's just not a desired situation. It isn't. It is not a desired situation. It is more or less, this is probably the worst thing that EA could have done with this game, is set it in a situation where it's like a ticking time bomb. You don't know when it's going to blow up, but you know it's going to happen. I think, though, that I am spent on this subject, and I will not be making another video that uses the name Anita Sarkeesian unless there is an absolute must that I do it. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that I explained myself a bit better this time and got my point across in a better way without having to be agitated or jumping to the anger wheel, I'll say. I just want to go ahead and I just wanted to get my thoughts out, and hopefully this expresses them in a much better fashion than I did previously, and people can understand where I'm coming from and what I am foreseeing happening. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more of my stuff, and until the next time, please enjoy your games. Peace.